other trainers from the academy, the youngsters who are all wishing to get trained, and the youngsters who are all selected for this prestigious responsibility. Namaskar to all of you and my blessings to the youngsters. Heartiest congratulations to all of you. You are set to embark on a unique journey that will not just transform your life but that of the nation. Transformation of the nation, transformation of the society, transformation of the people by transforming ourselves and then taking care of the people. In 1947, the first Union Minister, the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patelji, has aptly described civil servants as the steel frame of India. At the end of the day, it is the civil servants who have to execute the policies of the government of the day on the ground. The delivery in democracy is very important. Making promises, okay, good. Making legislations, better. But delivering to the people is the best. One has to really understand the goal before you, all of you. On this career path that offers not just a job, but a rare opportunity to serve Bharat. It is not simply a job, it's a rare opportunity to serve Bharat, means people of the country. Bear in mind, my dear youngsters, as you take the first step, that service to the nation is paramount. For service, you must have passion. Passion for the nation. Nation means people. People of the entire country, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region. India is one. अलग भाषा अलग वेश फिर भी अपना एक देश. विविधता में एकता भारत का विशेषता. We have different cultures. We belong to different communities, different religions. We pray different gods and we speak in different languages. But we are all Indians. We are all Bharatiyas. This has to be remembered by everyone. We are Bharatiyas and we are there to serve the Bharat Mata. Each task you undertake, my dear youngsters, no matter how small, contribute to the greater good of the people, of the society. Your dedication and commitment will shape the future of our nation. We live in times which civil servants often succumb to various temptations. There will be a lot of temptations. There will be a lot of pressures. One has to understand this. We are in the present day situation. We will have political bosses, but we must remember the real boss is the people of the country. And the real Bhagavad Gita, or Bible or Quran, whatever you believe, is Constitution of India. This has to be remembered. In difficult times, and there is pressure and there is counter pressure, we should not be working for the pressure of the person. We must remember that we have to follow the Constitution and the conscience. These two C's are very important, Constitution and your conscience. The oath you are taking to serve the people, that has to be remembered, and one has to be honest. You are the real face of the government. The image of effect will be affected this way or that way by your performance. This has to be remembered because at the grassroots level, you are at the delivery point. The Prime Minister is in Delhi. The Chief Minister will be in the state capital. And there will be ministers, there will be MLAs, there will be MPs, a lot of people. But the image, impression about the government is by the governance you deliver to the people. Remember this always. Honesty must be your guiding principle. You are in a role where decisions will impact the lives of the people. Integrity is non-negotiable. Uphold the highest ethical standards even when faced with adversity. After independence, there is some amount of fall of standards in every walk of life. Politics, administrative service, or even medical profession, education, they were considered as a mission. Mission to serve the people, not for commission. We should not give any omission or do any remission. We must have the passion for the sake of the nation. This has to be remembered. Nation means again people. Nation means is not the geographical boundary of India. All the people, 140 crore plus. And this nature, these creatures in the country, these rivers in the country, water bodies in the country, the trees in the country, the land of the country, and finally the people of the country, they all constitute the nation. So we must have passion to serve each one. Because nature is very important for the better living of the people. That's why I always tell the youngsters, nature, culture, together for bright future. Nature, culture, together for bright future. If you respect the nature, nature will love you. So that's why I say, love and live with the nature. Love and live with the nature. Unfortunately, over the years, we are neglecting the nature. Nature is showing its fury. This is not only in India, in the entire world. See what is happening in America, so-called developed country. I don't want to go in detail what is happening there. Though they always try to give lectures to us, thinking they are the masters and they are the bosses. One should really study what is happening in the West. They are not the best. And some of them, unfortunately, including the Western media, is not able to digest the emergence of India in the international arena. The growth, the talent, the skills, and the administration, which is taking the country forward. India is now recognized and respected worldwide. Once upon a time, India was Vishwaguru. Students from across the world, they used to come to Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila, and study there and used to go back by acquiring knowledge. With the advent of this foreign rule, the slavery that is thrust on us, we lost some of our moorings. We lost, of course, our resources. India used to account for 27% of the world GDP. Once upon a time, 27% of the entire world. But the Britishers came, they looted us, they cheated us, they robbed us. Not only financially, they have robbed the minds of some of our people. Some of our leaders also, because they taught us their history. Robert Clive the Great, but not Jhansi Lakshmi, but not Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, but not Allur Sita Ramaraju or Komaram Bhim. They are great warriors. Veerapandiya Kattabamman from the deep south. They were great, many stalwarts, but they were not given importance in the initial days of our history because it all was inspired by Britishers. Slowly we are coming out of that, and we are happy that the new education policy, NEP, is a very important document that will really change the minds of the people and younger generation and the academic community. My advice to all of you is study our culture, our heritage, and remember what our forefathers have said, and then move on. Follow those ethical standards, those values, and the early learning from Our grandmother and grandfather, according to me, they are the best teachers. Grandmother and grandfather. They give you earthly knowledge, real wisdom initially. Initially I wanted to speak in Telugu, but I am told there are boys and girls from different states. So I will mix English and Telugu, because I always feel proud to speak in my mother tongue. First mother tongue, then brother tongue, later any other tongue. You can speak in any language. I always say mother tongue is like your eyesight. These spectacles are of that of English. If you have eyesight, the spectacles will work better. If you don't have eyesight, even if you wear Ray-Ban glasses, जुबान से कुछ आएगा नहीं. అందుకని ప్రతి ఒక్కరు కూడా కన్న తల్లిని, జన్మభూమిని, మాతృభాషను, మాతృదేశాన్ని మర్చిపోకూడదు. మర్చిపోయిన వాడు మానవుడే కాదు. Remember mother, your native place. Mother who has given you this beautiful birth, you should never forget her. Your native place also, which was initially instrumental in bringing you up, and the mother tongue, the language, and the motherland, that is the country. All these things should be remembered by one and all. ప్రతి ఒక్కరూ కన్న తల్లిని, జన్మభూమిని, మాతృభాషను, మాతృదేశాన్ని మర్చిపోకూడదు. అలా మర్చిపోయిన వాడు మానవుడే కాదు అని చెప్పారు. If you are honest, it will earn you the all-round respect of the people. That will inspire confidence in you. Whatever role you perform, serve with unwavering commitment and dedication. Prime Minister has given a 3-line advice. He said, reform, perform and transform. Transformation of the lives of the people. That is very important. Our ultimate aim of transformation and reforms is to make people happy, people-centric. They should be made happy by removing all the obstacles. That has to be remembered by one and all. My dear youngsters, public service or community service or their development, give it your 100%. Should be perfect. Your diligence will leave a lasting imprint on the communities you serve. I started early public life, and since my younger days I was fighting against injustice. Initially I was in opposition. When I joined politics, people told me, you are joining a party which will not win. It's a North Indian party, it's an urban party, it's an educated party. And one gentleman told me, Arey Babu, it is vegetarian party. Of course, later I met my elders and asked them, is it true? Because I am a 100% non-vegetarian. Initially. Now that I have eaten enough for life, I am now slowly going back to vegetarian. They said, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. हमारा मीटिंग्स में, रेगुलर फंक्शंस में हम वेजिटेरियन नॉन वेजिटेरियन अलग अलग व्यवस्था नहीं करते का, क्योंकि you are coming for eating, you are coming for meeting, not for eating. That is the purpose of those days. Later, at home you eat whatever you want, and you have non-vegetarian, you invite me also, I will also come and eat. That's what the senior told me. But sticking to the same principle, deep south, and I used to write on walls and used to make mic announcement ఒక జట్కా బండిలో కూర్చొని ఒక మైక్ తీసుకొని ఈరోజు సాయంత్రం మన నెల్లూరులో కోపటు మైదానంలో సాయంత్రం 6 గంటలకు శ్రీమాన్ అటల్ బిహారీ వాజ్పేయిజీ వస్తున్నారు, అందరూ రండి, దయచేసి ఆ మీటింగ్లో జయప్రదం చేయండి. I used to make announcement through mic that Sriman Atal Bihari Vajpayee is coming to our town, gather in good numbers and hear his great speeches. The boy who announced Atal Bihari Vajpayee arrival to his place, I never imagined that I will become one day the president of the ruling party to sit between Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Lal Krishna Advani, Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. I am not going into politics. Why I have given you this example is hard work, discipline, dedication, sticking to the ideology and principles you believe, not changing morning and evening. What is happening in present day politics will take you to the heights. So be firm on the principle and be honest and be hardworking. You will excel. I was referring about my early days. I became MLA at the age of 70, at the age of 27. And I was vehement in criticizing government. But still I could do my job because of the honesty of the civil servants in my district and my constituency. I remember those collectors, superintendent of police, they used to go by rule book. Though there was pressure from the chief minister and from the revenue minister and all, they never used to deviate. They politely used to say, sir, this is the rule. That's why we are protected, and then we could excel. I could excel as a fairy parliamentarian in my young days. That is the contribution of the honest civil servant. I was in a party which I told you was in opposition. I was every day going to the library, read the debates of the Constituent Assembly, and know what Vajpayee has spoken, Nadpai has spoken, Piru Modi has spoken, Acharya Ranga has spoken, or Rajagopalachari, those days, and then used to improve my knowledge. So I appeal to all of you, please go through library to the references about the senior civil servants, the ICS officers, IAS officers later, the IPS officers, and other top officers who have contributed to the cause of the public life of the country. Try to follow their footsteps. Then definitely you will excel. And my second advice to all of you is, every day before going to bed, just recollect what you have done. And always evaluate whether what you have done today is according to law, whether you have been kind to the people, how quickly you are disposing of the people's petitions or their problems. This is my second advice. The third advice is, be positive. Positive is a bad word in Corona, but in real life, be positive. Positivity is lacking in the nation. That's unfortunate today. We are thinking negatively, everything negative, oppose. I am not saying that everything should be supported. It should be on merits. It should be in the interest of the people. And you must have moral guts to oppose something which is wrong. So for that, the honesty will definitely help you. So before going to bed, today, how many people came? How you disposed them of? How you made them happy? Could you see the real happiness in the face of the poor people? And the next advice is, take care of the poor, the real backwards. I am not talking of communities, the real backwards, in every sense, social, economical, because in spite of the growth we made and tremendous growth in the country, still we have 18% of the people who are illiterates. Around 18 or 20% of the people are still below poverty line. And in the country, here and there, even today, there are social discrimination. You must take care of those people suppressed, oppressed and depressed people. That is your basic duty. That should be the constitution of your thinking. Constitution of your thinking. And then, if you are happy with what you have done, and if you find any shortcoming, next day try to improve upon. This is my advice to all of you. My dear youngsters, give priority. The next advice is give priority to the rural people. India is still rural, 55 to 58% of the country. They live in the villages. I have experience of rural development minister, then urban development minister also. I was minister of Panchayat Raj also during my tenure. So I have seen, and I have come from a village, that too from an agriculture community. I know the problems of the rural people, they are yet to be made totally happy. We have highways. Some rural people complain that they have no ways. So we must focus our attention of delivery and service to the rural people. This is another important advice to all of you. Urban areas naturally will get some attention because media is there, and then the people are little educated and they get agitated, and the rulers will always try to attend to those problems because they are visible. So you have to make a critical decision, and a crucial thing is prioritize the needs of the rural people. They are the lifeline of our nation. They are the producers of our food. If you really, your tenure can make a visible impact in the lives of the people, then you are successful. Then be happy. You be their voice. And my next advice is be always independent. Your loyalty and responsibility is sense of duty. And your loyalty is to the people and to the constitution, nobody else. Yes, we have political bosses who are elected by the people, selected by the people. We have to give them definitely enough attention and follow because they are the rule makers. But if the rule is violated, and if they want you to violate the rule, do not succumb to the pressure. At the best, what can they do? They can transfer you to some other place. That's all. That's all, na? But nowadays we are seeing cases in the country, unfortunately. I have enough experience here and there. Some political bosses misusing their authority and making even the civil servants also to follow them into jail also. There are cases, politician went to jail and he took some officers also like that. Of course, they are very limited in number, but it's a shame that if IAS officer, IPS officer, IRS officer or any civil servant succumb to the pressure and then violate the constitution, violate the rule book, it's really a shame because you are different from other services. This has to be remembered by one and all. Or as civil servants, stepping on to the first rung of your professional career, you are key stakeholders in ensuring progress of this great nation. For the common man, the civil servant is the most visible agent of change across the country. Civil servant should always remember, be accessible, be positive, be receptive. The poor people, they come, they try to explain and all, you don't become impatient. If you become impatient, you will become impatient in the system. Impatient. One must have patience. Try to understand them, what they are saying, what they need, even if they are not able to speak in your language or the language which you understand better and all. Be always positive, be receptive, be smiling. not laughing, smiling, always. The collector, madam, or sir is very receptive, very fine. So half of his problems are relieved when you see that, when they see your face. And the positivity which you have received him, this is also important in the service. The officials in the lower ranks, your deputies, your subordinates, take care of them, try to protect them if they follow the rule and if somebody try to harm them. But at the same time, be watchful whether they are on the right path or not. It's not simply sufficient a collector or a SP or a senior officer to be honest. You must see to it that system, entire system, honesty. Delivery, as I was telling you, is most important. The Prime Minister has brought a lot of reforms, and one is DBT, Direct Benefit Transfer. Directly reaching the people. No need to stand in a queue, waiting list. Standing in a queue, waiting in a line, meeting people, greeting people, and shaking hand and doing something in between hand. That should not be allowed at all. That's why this DBT came. People are happy. And there are so many other things also. The DBT alone is not the solution to all. So find out other ways and means how to reach the people, how to make the benefit reach them, how to avoid middlemen. This is also equally be citizen friendly, be eco friendly, take care of the natural resources in our region, in our district. This is an important responsibility. Often that's not taken enough care, because we in our system neglecting nature, encroachments of the rivers, encroachments of the water bodies, encroachment of the lakes. Bangalore was supposed to be having thousands of lakes once upon a time. Today see the horrible situation of Bangalore. And here, because encroachment has become the order. They have become little powerful, and people in the power, they don't want to disturb them. That should not be allowed to happen under your regime. My dear friends, there should be transparency, what you are doing. Transparency and accountability. And then targeted results. You must always aim at results, and that to 100%. Now the latest thrust of the nation on digitization, innovation, entrepreneurship, driven by large basket of targeted welfare schemes, have together transformed our system of governance in making totally people-centric. But still there are certain gray areas. They have to be taken care. One example, Digital India in terms of percentage today has a 48% coverage, in contrast with 15% 9 years ago. That is the progress we have made in digitization. Today, Bharat is a global player with a strong independent stance based on national interest. Nation first. Nation first, party next, self last. That should be the attitude of everybody. The Prime Minister Narendra Bhai often refers to this age as the era of development, reminding the world that this is not the age of war or expansionism. We don't believe in expansionism. Even when we are so rich, 27% of the world GDP, we never attacked any country. We don't believe in colonialism at all. We always gave respect. India was a very powerful nation once upon a time, but we never went on war. And any Sam, Dick and Harry, they came and they tried to loot us, cheat us. And they declared that they have one so-and-so province. It took a lot of time for Goa to become independent by Portuguese. What is Portuguese? We never show in the history. Even the Bangladesh liberation was in accordance with the people's wish to stop the Pakistanis' expansionism. And we want to be friendly with all our neighbors. Because late Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee said you can change your friend, but you cannot change your neighbor. We want to be friendly with even Pakistan, our troubling neighbor, or with the other who always try to change maps. Easy to change, sit in the room and change map, but you can't change the real map of India. India stands united, and you have people who are protecting our borders, the great army. We don't want to conquer or to boss over anybody, but at the same time we want our territory to be respected, guarded. Follow Indian culture, follow Indian systems. Even if you are a civil servant, collector or SP, take care of your health, do some exercise, get up early. Who is the best civil servant or the municipal commissioner? Who is on streets before the others wake up in the morning? The commissioner of the municipal corporation should be on the streets before people get up. That shows the sincerity to take care of the people's needs. So try to guide the people in this regard, the entire bureaucracy, and then be always available to the people at any time. If somebody try to call you, you must be available. The per capita income of the country has risen from 86,000 rupees in 2014 to 1,70,000 rupees, while foreign exchange, direct investment and foreign trade are at their highest level. In spite of all this, we should not be complacent. As civil servants and your service enters the Amrit Kal, you are in a privileged position to serve this great nation. Civil servants are the eyes and ears of the government on the ground. Remember that you are the eyes and ears of the government on the ground. Government may change depending on the parties and get elected by the people at the center and in all states and union territories. But administrative governance is an ongoing, continuous process. You remember this. The administration is a continuation problem of practice. So you have to remember that. The key to the good governance lies in inclusivity, inclusive, not exclusive. Use of technology and maintaining high moral standards. This inclusivity lies at the core of good governance. Remember that the ultimate aim of governance should be empowering the people. And to move towards minimum government, which will happen only when the governance reaches the people, the last mile, people in the last mile, and the people at the bottom of the pyramid. If they are covered, then you really have meaning of good governance. This is all possible. One is, of course, political leadership. They must also have will and skill. They must be honest. For that, you also have to be honest. Do not compromise at all. Fight the corruption at every level. People, they will respect the honest people, honest civil servants. They adore you. They admire you. But for that, you have to be basically honest. Because you are all going to enter the civil services. I have these few pieces of advice to all of you. In the course of life, in the course of your training and your posting, you will try to learn more. Always try to learn. Learn. Not the earn. Some people want to go abroad. Some of the boys and girls who are educated, I have no problem. My advice to all of them also is simple. Go, learn, earn and return. ultimately serving the motherland, that is more important. So my dear youngsters, be optimistic, be positive, be receptive, be honest, and be dynamic, and try to improve the system of governance, and then try to make this country further great, to reach further heights. That is my advice to all of you. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Namaskar. Jai Hind.